know something? I've always been a competitive person. I've always been one that is willing to accept a challenge. I like to test my limits, test my abilities and stuff. But this is something I absolutely do not want to take part in. I'm not playing no games with this, okay? I don't want nothing to do with this. These people are getting online and sharing their experiences about seeing their dead relatives. Seeing their dead relatives, people that they've lost, family members they've lost, and seeing them again in other people or in spirit, but with their eyes, okay? And like children are seeing them. Anyway, let me go ahead and play this clip for y'all.
I saw my dead brother while I was vacationing in Italy, and I'm going to tell y'all the story. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know I'm going to sound crazy when I tell y'all this, but just bear with me. This is not something I would lie about. This 100% happened, and I wasn't the only one who saw him. So we were in Italy for a total of 7 days, and during those 7 days, we stopped in several different cities, and we would stay like a night or two in each city, so that way we could like tour and kind of look around and everything. This particular story happened in Manarola, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's a coastal city, so it's like right on the water, and the goal of this day was we were going to walk around Manarola, take a ferry ride to a different city that was like across the way, and it would be the end of the tour. So before I continue with the story, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of context as to how my brother passed. My brother passed last August in Austin, Texas. He went cliff jumping at Lake Travis with some friends, and I guess he just hit the water wrong. It either knocked the breath out of him and he just couldn't recover, or he ended up drowning. Still not sure. Honestly, don't know if I ever want to know fully. But yeah, that's what happened. He was cliff jumping. Remember that. So back to the original story, we were meeting with our tour group so that way we could all line up for the ferry ride. And I'm going to show y'all exactly how the layout was of this city, just so you can kind of get an idea. So this was the view of where we were standing in the city area before we started walking down towards the water and like towards where the ferry was. So it's literally like city and then drop off, and then there's water, and then there's a bunch of like little rocks not little, ginormous fucking rocks in the middle of the water, and people were like climbing on top of them and like jumping off of them. You get the gist. Now, if you went down the cliffside, they had built in a staircase so that way you could walk down closer to the water and take like a little pathway towards where the ferries were. This picture isn't the best, however, it is the only picture that I have where it kind of shows everything. So if you look right underneath here, this is the staircase where we were at to lead to the ferries. And if you look right here, there's a giant fucking rock right in the middle facing the staircase. So it was my mom, my dad, and my little sister and me. My mom wasn't really watching any of the people jump off of the rocks because it just hurt too much for her to watch. So she was turned around. She didn't see any of this. However, my dad and I both were watching people jump off of this rock, okay? And the top of this rock was completely eye level to where we were standing at on the stairs. So we were pretty much like standing in front of the people that were on top of this rock about to jump off. So, we watch a couple of people at first jump off and everybody's like having a good time, whoop-de-woo. And then I see this one guy get on the top of the rock. And I'm tearing up because I remember exactly how he looks. So this guy gets on the top of the rock. He's waiting to jump, but there's like a couple of people in front of him. But I end up making eye contact with this man. And I was like, that's Jaden. Like, that's my brother. And I said it out loud. I was like, that's Jaden. And I turned around to my dad. And I was like, does that not look like Jaden? And he looks and he's like, holy shit, that's Jaden. So I'm not the only one that saw this. And the guy looked exactly how my brother looked on this day. This was for my 21st birthday. We went to Mexico, and this was in one of the cenotes. They lost all of our swimsuits and stuff like on the bus, and he ended up just jumping into the cenotes like in his underwear. Like, it was one of the funniest memories on that trip. And the dude on that day looked exactly like how my brother looks in this picture. Like, I kid you not. On top of that, my brother had a very distinct Mac Miller tattoo on the front of his right thigh. Like, I haven't seen many people with that tattoo. And the guy that was jumping off of the rock had the exact same fucking tattoo in the exact same spot. Anyways, after I turn around to my dad and I bring it to his attention, I turn back around to the rock and I look at this guy who I can only assume is my brother, making eye contact with me. And he just smiles. And then he jumps off the rock. After that happened, we had to wait in that area for about 20 minutes for the ferry to arrive. And I sat there and I watched that rock for 20 straight minutes. When I tell y'all, that dude never came out of the water. He never got back up on the rock to jump again. He never swam to a different area. Like, I didn't see him. It's like he jumped into the water and he vanished. I know it sounds crazy, but I kid you not. Like, this man jumped and we didn't see him again. And even my dad asked, he was like, do you see him? Do you see him? Literally, like, never saw that man again. He jumped and just, like, fucking disappeared. And look, I'm not religious, okay? Like, I grew up in church. I'm not gonna get into my fucking religious trauma right now. I don't go to church. I don't necessarily believe in like an organized religion or a god, but I do believe that there is a higher power out there, and I do believe in energies and guardian angels, and I fully believe that that was my brother's guardian angel. If not, like his energy was there, like it was there. And that whole trip was like for his birthday, because his birthday is on June 14th. So originally that whole trip was for his birthday and also to celebrate like our graduations from college. And this happened 3 days before his birthday. So I feel like if that was him, I think that that was his way of just like kind of letting us know that he was there, like that he was there and that he was also enjoying the trip. I don't know. It was so fucking crazy. But it also kind of makes me feel a little more sane knowing that I wasn't the only one that saw him. Like, my dad, dead ass, was like, that looks exactly like Jaden. And the fact that, like, the dude just, like, disappeared. It's like, bro, that wasn't some, like, twin or, like, look-alike. Like, that was him. Like, I'm fully convinced. Call me fucking crazy, but, like, that was him. People tell me all the time, like, I don't know how you do it. Like, you're the strongest woman that I know because, like, you're handling such a tough loss, like, so much better than I would have handled it. But truth is, like, I still have really hard days. But I feel like that was something that was very healing for me. Because it's like, I don't know. It was his way of just, like, letting us know that, like, he's good. And that he's still around. But yeah, a few days later, we ended up celebrating his 25th birthday while we were still in Italy. And we just knew that he was really excited for the trip. And I think that's his way of letting us know that he had fun and that he was glad that we were having fun. So, yeah, I love you, Jaden.
Tell me.
I think it's very heartwarming. It's very heartwarming to see, you know, something like that. And it can bring forth healing, especially when you're grieving. Like, when you're still grieving, it can bring comfort. I, on the other hand, yeah, I don't play those games. I don't play those games. You know, it's very comforting for a lot of people. A lot of people who still need, you know, to know that their loved one is okay. They need to know, you know, that they're with them. And I've had a similar experience, but mine, you know, when my dad passed, I didn't see him with my eyes. He was coming in my dreams. He was coming in my dreams, and he was, I could distinctly hear his voice. It was just the audio of his voice was so distinct. It was so loud. It was like I was literally talking to him. And y'all, once I got, you know, further into walking in my faith and realizing these familiar spirits will show up and as anybody to deceive you is crazy. But as far as her experience, I know there's a lot of people out there that really need that comforting. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Here's the next one.
Y'all have seen the video of the little girl that was talking to her grandparents, and she was like, "That's the man that comes see me at night," and she was pointing at all these pictures that was on the wall.
Who comes see you at night?
The man.
What man? That one. And I tell you, that video gave me chills. Chills went down my spine. There's nothing more innocent than a child that has not been influenced by the world. It has these sweet little innocent abilities, and we as parents, we try to suppress that shit. We try to tell ourselves, oh, they're talking to their imaginary friend. Lies. I'm telling y'all, the very same thing happened to me with my daughter. I had told my grandmother for some time my daughter at night would just sit up and talk in her bed. I would tuck her in, and about 5 to 10 minutes later, I would tell the person next to me, I would say, shh, just listen. And sure as shit thing, she would sit straight up in her bed, talk to the corner of the door. And when I say crack, this is what I mean. No way possible. Anybody can fit in that crack, right? Her little self was like 3 or 4 years old, and she would tell me, it's a guy that come in here and he talked to me every night. He's my friend. He told me to tell you hi, but he got scratches on his body. He got scratches. I told him to go change his clothes. I never could get who she was talking about, right? She told me don't worry about it, just pray about it. But I told her she ain't scared though. It's like she know this person. Now at this time I was staying in Texas, and this was happening periodically, so often that I almost expected it. One day I decided to go ahead and go visit my people. We get in the living room, per usual, having conversation, fellowshipping, right? My grandmother had a few pictures on the wall. Now my grandmother had 2 sons that passed. Her oldest and her baby boy passed away. We all talking, and she just flat out says, there you go right there. My uncles, my grandmother's sons, were on the wall. And so we were like, who are you talking about? Everybody got quiet. I said, Granny, I told you. She said, baby, who is your friend? She points at a picture with 4 other people in this picture with my uncle. She said, him right there. He got scratches on his body. Moving forward, my grandmother did confirm that during the time of my uncle's death, he had a bad car wreck, and he indeed had scratches all over his body. More than that. But I thought it was insane. My kids come and tell me that they dreamed of somebody that felt familiar, but they don't know them, but they felt safe. I always listen for the message. There's always a message. I respect the spiritual world. I believe in the spiritual world, and I never doubt anybody's experience. When I saw this video, I had to stick. It blew my damn mind.
Children are the closest thing to the spiritual realm. Like they still have the abilities of seeing things, especially those that are autistic, that are nonverbal. They can communicate telepathically, and a lot of people don't know that. Even though they are nonverbal, they are still communicating telepathically, but it's like they are stuck in that from the spiritual realm and don't realize that in this realm you have to use your voice to speak. It's a whole thing, about that, but that's a separate topic. However, when it comes to children, they are the closest thing to the spiritual realm. I think that's why they are targeted a lot by demonic spirit beings, and especially like in rituals and stuff like that. Here's the next clip. I honestly don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. Because they talk about like we all have doppelgangers out there and stuff like that. And, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. It would just, I think that a lot of people, what they do. And then there's some people that talk about like it's multiple timelines, like with CERN doing all of this stuff or whatever. The timelines, like that is her brother. He's just on a different timeline, so I don't know. It's a lot going on, but here's the last one.
Yes.
Yes, it looks like that.
Daddy.
Yeah. And Mabel, what does your ghost do?
No.
What did you say he gave you?
Heart.
A heart?
Daddy.
Uh-huh.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Just see me.
What sees you? The ghost? What are you talking about?
My mom.
The dryer scared me and you already freaked me out.
Freaking out.
Oh, my own.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, who is it?
Daddy. Daddy's right there.
Is it your daddy?
No, it's your daddy.
Is where?
Your daddy.
Daddy's right there.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, show me.
See?
Oh,
He disappeared into the ground.
Missing you.
my daddy's missing me?
It's your tail.
Let's go get him. Where'd he go?
I think not.
Okay, show me.
No, ma'am. No. And that's why I said we don't play those games. Mm-mm. I wrote in my family chat, I said, I love y'all, but if y'all go before me and I have to bury you, don't y'all come back. Don't y'all try to come back. I'm throwing holy water on you. I'm letting you know right now. Fair warning is fair game. Don't y'all try to come back. We're not doing all that. Mm-mm. But yeah, these, people are giving their experiences online. They're expressing what they're going through. And let me know in the comments what y'all think. If y'all have had any experiences like this, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.